Welcome 4-plussers and YouTubers to Battle Report 17, the Dark Angels' first battle in Week 3 of our Planetary Empires campaign. The Chaos Demons will have 150 extra points this game, 100 for the tile bonus and another 50 for a good roll on the manufactory output. They will also have a +1 to all pre-game reserve and steal the initiative rolls. Earlier in the week, the Chaos Demons were fighting that are fighting from the blue territory suffered a loss of ground to just a free raider squad. Little did I know it was because they were amassing a huge force to strike out at my command bastion and left that little tile lightly defended. We rolled the Scouring mission and Vanguard Strike deployment. I have Night Attacker as my Warlord trait, and I chose to make it Night Fight turn 1. The Demons won the deployment roll-off, but chose to have the Dark Angels deploy first. The objectives and their victory point values are marked on the stars. I'm sorry, I think it's the Scouring, not the Scourging if I said it. That's the mission, is the Scouring. I have an odd selection of models in this force. I ran out of points, so I ended up shaving 2 tactical squads down to 9-man with no heavy weapons on either side of the Land Raider there. In the Land Raider, I have a Deathwing Command Squad with 4 Thunderhammers and an Apothecary, and then they're carrying the Standard of Devastation, which doesn't impact them, but it helps the Marines and the Land Raider. On the left is the Command Bastion. It's being defended by my Librarian, and he is in Terminator armor, so that way I could take the Deathwing Command Squad. His Warlord, he is the Warlord, and his squad that he's with is Devastators with 4 las cannons. The last tactical squad was split into 2 combat squads. The Librarian has Prescience and Perfect Timing, and he also has a Night Visor, so I can ignore Night Fight. I ended up getting 2 Universal Special Rules because of my Command Bastion bonus this game, and I really thought about it kind of hard because I didn't want to make the game too unbalanced, but at the same time I was fighting with a point deficit, so I took instant death for the Devastator squad, and then on the Land Raider I took Armor Bane, just kind of a, there's a couple vehicles over there on the side that he can shoot at with it. Planetary Empires was written in 5th edition when USRs were fewer and did not include weapon attributes. So, we got together before this started and we talked about it, and we decided to take some rules off the list like Smash, but other ones like Armor Bane and Instant Death, what we did is we split them into 2 groups. You can actually basically pick one of those rules for either your melee attacks or your shooting attacks, but you can't have it on both. Ultimately, Devastators with Instant Death is pretty good against this army. We've got Khorne Blood Crushers, Plague Beasts, Beasts of Nurgle, 2 Demons that are flying. So there's a lot of multi-wound models that the Instant Death could help with. So I think that's it's a good rule for me. I'm a little worried that it may cause this game to just be a blowout where I win it, but my worries may be unfounded. We'll see. The Demons come to the table with a Soul Grinder of Tzeentch with Phlegm, level 1 Demon Prince with Psychic Shriek, a Lord of Change with Prescience and Infernal Gateway. The Herald of Tzeentch next to him has Foreboding and Infernal Gateway. He's also packing a Portaglyph. The pack of Bloodletters is screened by 2 Beasts of Nurgles, and the Blood Crusher's champion actually had a greater gift. Normally he takes a Blade of Blood because Rampage is great on Blood Crushers since typically they're outnumbered. But he ended up rolling Warp Forged Armor and he kept it, so he's got a 3+ save. In reserve is 2 Pink Horror Squads. The Demons end up stealing the initiative. Everyone advances. The Blood Crushers advance into cover right here. Shooting phase. Khorne rages, but there's no results. That's the Warp Storm result. Everything focuses fire on the tactical squad. They take 4 casualties and end up running off the board. So end of Demons turn 1. They got first blood, and they're all up in my business, as you can see. Dark Angels turn 1. The Horde of Khorne is awfully close, so my combat squad hops into the battlements. The combat squad in the lake discovers that it's a Skyfire objective, and that could be useful. They take a step back from the Beasts of Nurgle, but the lake really slows them down. I think they only move 2 inches in difficult. I really need to conserve my troops. It's a 6 objective game, and I'm down to 3 scoring units. So the Terminators get out, and with any luck, the Demon Prince in front of them will crash down to the ground, and I'll get a nice charge with them. And the tactical squad gets in the Land Raider. Land Raider is going to move back in the next frame, just to get a little bit of ways from the Demon Prince and hopefully keep them from being able to land behind me. Unleash the dogs of war. As you can see, I do a lot of shooting here. Land Raider, the Hurricane Bolters pop off at the Flying Demon Prince. The Skyfire missile launcher shoots at him, and the Cyclone missile launcher shoots at him. And what we end up happening with is we get 2 wounds from the Land Raider. The Skyfire missile launcher misses, the Cyclones miss, and the Demon stays flying. The Assault Cannon from the Land Raider uses Power of Machine Spirit, shoots at the Lord of Change, as do the Prescience Ignore Cover Devastators. So we have 8 twin-linked shots, and we don't get a single hit. So Lord of Change stays flying, and, you know, not the first turn I was expecting. From the Bastion, the Dark Angels squad that's up there takes some shots at the Khorne Blood Crushers, and we do manage to get a wound on them. And that's the end of my turn 1. I'm hoping that next turn, you know, the flying monsters decide to land to get some smash attacks on the Land Raider, or maybe charge the Terminators. We'll see what happens. Turn 2 demons. Fortune seems to smile a little bit on my Dark Angels initially. 1 unit of Pink Horrors does not come on. He rolls a 1. He needed a 2+ to get him in because of his bonus to reserves rolls. The other unit comes on and mishaps and goes into ongoing reserves. So, you know, that's a lot of fire that I'm not going to have to weather. So you're probably looking at this picture going, whoa, what the hell? This looks like one of those John Madden football diagrams. Essentially, what's going on is both the flying units chose to stay flying and just reposition themselves, and this is a good move. I thought initially he was going to just double team the Land Raider, or maybe land and attack the Terminators, but what he did here is actually a great move. It's going to be very hard for me to hit him next turn, and he can still shoot with them while they're flying. You can see the Portaglyph has actually spit out 2 units. The first turn I didn't get a picture of those 5 Demonettes that came out, and then 3 Demonettes came out this turn. Soul Grinder advances. You can see the Horde of Khorne is getting closer, and you can see the Beasts of Nurgle just barely behind that far rock. They're moving to get a charge on those far combat squad. In the shooting phase, the warp intensifies, and the demons all get a 4+ save now instead of a 5+. Everything concentrates on the Terminators. Couple of AP1 blast templates from Tzeentch. Definitely kills a few of them. I think 3 of them are going to die. You can see here, yep, 3 Terminators die. The Apothecary doesn't seem to help at all. In close combat phase, which you're not going to see, the Nurgle beasts make an 11-inch charge. That's impressive, and they kill 4 Space Marines on the Skyfire objective, but the last guy stands strong, being stubborn, and they're going to just fight it out in later turns. Angels turn 2. I still have instant death Devastators and a Land Raider that puts out 28 twin link shots, 24 from the Hurricane Bolters, and 4 from the Assault Cannon, and this is, you know, when they're near the banner. So the game's not lost. I still think I'm in it. I got plenty of stuff to do. I got a 2-wound Demon Prince that I got to kill, and I got a 6-wound Lord of Change because he's got Corpulence that I got to kill. And I can do it. I mean, it's anybody's game still. In the shooting phase, not a single wound is done by the Land Raider or the Devastators to either of the flying demons. They proved to end up being unhittable, and then I think the Devastators may have landed 1 las cannon shot, but the 4+ save worked out well for them. The only wounds done were 3 wounds from the squad in the battlements shooting down on the blood letters there. Turn 3 demons, the horrors arrive and everything moves into position. Both flyers land to smash charge their respective armor 14 targets, and really at this point I've kind of given up. I haven't actually been able to have any effect on any of his units, so I make the decision that you know, if he kills the Land Raider and the Bastion, I will concede the game. There's really nothing left to fight with. I have a tactical squad and a Devastator squad that's surrounded by Khorne, so it'll be over. Amazingly enough, in the shooting phase, absolutely nothing dies. The warp is calm. I get a successful deny the witch roll off against both pink horse squads in the shooting phase. So I mean, maybe my luck's turning around here. Close combat ensues. Lord of Change charges the Land Raider. The Demon Prince charges the Bastion. And, the dice give and the dice take away. 4 smash hits on both of them. And the end result is not even a glance on either. That's right. 8 strength 10 shots with the reroll armor penetration. And not a single glance. Not a glance, not a pen. And now both baddies are on the ground. Beasts of Nurgle do manage to finish off that final Marine over there in the corner. But, things are looking up. I was kind of in a pit of despair at the beginning of this turn, and now it's like, oh, maybe I can pull this out. Dark Angels turn 3, the Land Raider does a little Tokyo Drift move to get away from the Lord of Change and make room for the Instant Death Devastators to get an easy kill on the Lord of Change. The shooting phase, you can see, a lot of crossfire here. The Land Raider actually splits his fire, kills a couple pink horrors, does manage to finish off the Demon Prince. The Prescience Devastators score 3 hits on the Lord of Change, but only manage a single wound. Got a couple of ones there, and he makes his save. So good for the Lord of Change. He survives another turn. In close combat, the Demonettes and the Terminators go ahead and go rounds. The Terminator kills one. The Demonettes kill the Apothecary. That's fine. He hadn't done anything all game. Plus, he doesn't have a good weapon. The Apothecary has no special weapon. I'm not sure if that's an oversight or a design decision, but he's the worst Apothecary in the game. Turn 4 demons, the only movement is the Soul Grinder and the Lord of Change converging on the Land Raider. We're going to go straight to close combat phase because there is no effective shooting. The Soul Grinder and the Lord of Change manage 1 glance and 2 penetrates on the Land Raider. The penetration rolls are stunned and immobile. The Thunderhammer Terminator finishes off the Demonettes, and he consolidates towards the Soul Grinder. I'm going to try and rescue my Land Raider. Dark Angels turn 4. The Devastators, they show up and they get their kill on the Lord of Change. They actually get 3 wounds and he saves 2 of them, but thank God for instant death. So Lord of Change is dead. I get Slay the Warlord. Let's see if maybe the Land Raider can do something. Stun Land Raider. He takes some shots at the pink horrors, manages to kill 2 of them. They are snapshots since he's stunned. Charge! The Thunderhammer Marine, I charge in. I figure the Soul Grinder is going to get 2 hits. I'm going to have to make 2 saves. That's, law of averages there. And I can do that. And if I swing back with the Thunderhammer and, get a hit on him, I get I think a shaken or a stunned result, which of course he can ignore on a 2+. So probably not the best plan to go after him with the Thunderhammer, but it didn't matter. The Soul Grinder ends up getting 3 hits. Wounds the Terminator on all 3, and then I roll a 1-1-2. So in the end, it didn't really make a difference. But I did save the Land Raider for 1 turn because the Soul Grinder ended up being engaged with the Terminator, so he had to fight the engaged model. He couldn't swing at the Land Raider. Turn 5 Demons, they reposition to claim objectives. The Soul Grinder tees up an easy charge on the immobile Land Raider there. Khorne Bloodletters make a move away from the 3-point objective. I think this is a slight slip in concentration by Andy. I probably would have just camped on it. I believe that they're moving down towards the Skyfire objective, and I think the Pink Horrors maybe, they're going to step back to the 1-point objective. I think maybe he was thinking the Pink Horrors were going to make a run for the 3-point. We do get better bonuses for the more we beat our opponent by. In the shooting phase, though, the Pink Horrors are absolutely epic. They kill 4 of the 5 Marines up on top of the Bastion there. The 5th Marine does make his leadership, doesn't jump down. Khorne Close combat, Soul Grinder explodes the Land Raider, the Marines pile out and they lose 1. They make their pin check, that's good. Turn 5 Dark Angels, the Marines roll difficult, get out of the crater, flame the pink horrors, kill all but like maybe 6 of them, charge in, kill all but 2 of them, and then the last 2 fail demonic instability and pop. We consolidate away from the Soul Grinder but stay within 3 inches of the 4-point objective. The game ends and it's a draw, 5-5. However, in the grand scheme of things, anybody watching this battle report, you know the Dark Angels really lost. I mean, we got pummeled. We just happened to get lucky. We sucked out. The dice were very kind to us at the end and ended the game, so it wasn't actually just a complete wipe. So the Dark Angels had the 4-point objective and slay the Warlord. That is how they got their 5 points. The Demons have a 1-point objective, and then they have a 2-point objective over in their deployment zone where those 5 Slaanesh Demonettes ran off to, and then you never saw them again. And then they have Line Breaker for being in my deployment zone, and First Blood. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5-5. The Bastion survives. Dark Angels held it against incredible odds. And really, if there's a moral to this story, or you know, why was this game incredible? A lot of you watching are probably like, "This is one of the worst games I've ever seen." But why it was incredible is both of us had amazingly epic failures. Instant death devastators failing to kill anything until turn 4 with prescience and ignore cover is pretty amazing. And then 8 smash attacks and not a single glance on armor 4. That means that you know he's rolling 8 dice and he rolled 1 through 3s on him, and then he rolled 8 dice again and he rolled 1 through 3s on him. We had some very unlikely results throughout the game, and it kind of changed the face of the game. And again, I take away the lesson that no matter how bad the ass paddling is that you think you're getting, you know, with a little luck and a little thought, you might be able to suck out a draw or even a win sometimes. It was a dirty draw, but you know, I'll take it. Andy has thrown down the gauntlet too for the rematch next week. I'm not sure if I will take the same list, but the Bastion will definitely be there because I am trying to play a fluff-oriented list, and there will probably be Terminators. I own like 38 Terminators, so I do like to play with them. Even though the Terminators are sort of a poor choice against Chaos Demons, being that everything has a 5-up invulnerable save, and their special rules don't work because their special rules preferred enemy against Codex Chaos Space Marines has nothing to do with demons. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the battle report. Hope you took something away from it, and I hope you stick around to watch the next one.